So this is something I wanted to do for a little while now, because while I love talking about the console's hardware and what they'll provide, I always wanted to get into each console's pros and cons, especially when it comes to the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, which are launching this week and will push us into the next generation and push games into new heights. Now, I know I'm an Xbox-centric channel, it's no lie. I prefer the Xbox platform and ecosystem because it's just what I grew up with, and it's what most of my friends play on. Yet, I wanted to go into the advantages each console has over each other, especially when it comes to the launch of the consoles. Now, this video will mainly focus on the Xbox side of the advantages it has over the PS5. Now, this isn't a review of the consoles, but more of an observation of what features and things each console has over the other. And everyone that's watched my channel knows I'll be buying both of these consoles and playing each console's exclusives and enjoying the experience both Microsoft and Sony provide me. But that doesn't mean everyone will be buying both consoles, and most people will be choosing one console to lead them into the next generation for several years. So in this video, I'll be looking into what makes Xbox the better launch console for gamers. And later in the week, I'll be looking into what makes the PlayStation 5 consoles the better launch console. This will be an in-depth look into each piece of hardware and software, not to mention a lot of the features that the consoles will have. Because while we'll all get our hands on these next generation consoles, we will see that these consoles will evolve as developers get to know them a little better. But for the launch of these consoles, what we get is pretty much what we'll have for a little while. So I hope everyone enjoys the video, and I hope I can shine some light on some of the amazing features the Xbox Series X has to make it the best launch console for a lot of gamers. Some of these features might surprise people, especially if they're looking to the PlayStation 5 as a launch console they want. So let's get into these advantages and see if they really make a difference for a lot of people when they finally decide to buy a next generation console. But first, like always, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. Alright, enough of that. Let's get into these advantages the Xbox Series X has over the PlayStation 5. Now, the first one is going to be something we talked about a lot on this channel, and that's the hardware advantage that the Xbox Series X has. This has been something reported on repeatedly and something that a lot of people know about. It's plain and simple that the Xbox Series X has the advantage on pretty much every single aspect of the hardware, minus the SSD, which the PlayStation 5 has an advantage in. But GPU, CPU, and pretty much every other aspect of the console is going to the favor with the Xbox Series X. Now, most people won't like to hear that, but it's just a fact of the matter. Not to mention, the Xbox Series X will have full RDNA 2 features. That's something only the Xbox Series X has when it comes to next generation consoles. This has been mentioned by Xbox and a bunch of other people that know what the software and hardware specifications of both consoles are. Not to mention, Sony's PlayStation hasn't confirmed or said that the PlayStation 5 will have full RDNA 2 features. So you throw in the software and the hardware, and you can easily see that the Xbox Series X will have the advantage in almost every single third-party game that comes out. So if you want to play your games at the top performance and fidelity, the easy choice is going to be the Xbox Series X. And then not to mention, the Xbox has a bigger hard drive. Sure, the PlayStation 5 has the faster SSD, but the Xbox has more space for you to put your games eternally. Not to mention, you can put your games on external expansions that they provide that will match the speed of their SSD that they have internally. I find that very convenient. Is it pricey? Sure, but again, for storage, Xbox has PlayStation beat because they just plainly have more room. But now let's move on to the next advantage that the Xbox Series X has, which is a little bit of a weird one, but something that people shouldn't take for granted, which is all access. Now, I know it's not that big of a deal to people that are hardcore gamers, but it's still something that the casual gamer would love to have, and it's something that can truly help push a lot of consoles out the door, which is something this article points out. Microsoft's All Access program is pretty great for anyone looking to get a next-gen console without breaking the bank. You can purchase an Xbox Series X for $35 a month with 0% financing, or on Xbox Series S for $25 a month and pay it off over 24 months with no upfront down payment, instead of dropping $500 to $300 all at once, or putting that on the credit card with a high interest rate. You can spread the cost out over 2 years. This cost also includes Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which brings us to Microsoft's next big advantage. Now, this All Access program has been promoted more than any other time I've seen, no matter the generation. And I think it's a great way for people to fund their gaming over time instead of putting down $500 or $300 day one. I've already seen multiple people do this with their console, and I've seen people do this with their PS5 going to other retailers like Best Buy. But having Microsoft do it right on their site and promoting this on multiple retail stores could be a great way for people to get a new console. So while this might seem like a little bit of a weird advantage, I still have to agree with this article when it says this might be something that really helps Xbox sell a lot of consoles, but also get the system in more gamers' hands as they launch the console and integrate it into this holiday season. Next is an advantage I think Xbox has had for a very long time, and that's the Xbox Game Pass and xCloud. Everyone here knows I'm a huge Game Pass fan. I find it the best deal in gaming, and it's something I truly can't help but think it will push the Xbox platform to new heights. And it's something that this article points out. 2020 has been a rough year in a lot of ways, but not for Xbox Game Pass, which just continues to get better and better. There are already dozens of games included with the membership, and an ultimate membership includes Xbox Live with Gold and Game Pass for PC. Since the beginning of the year, Xbox Game Pass has expanded to include EA Play today on Xbox, on PC December 15th, a free Disney Plus trial, 30 days with Ultimate, and xCloud game streaming. So let's look at this from the beginning of the year, not even for the entire time Xbox Game Pass has been around. We know that Xbox is going to launch all their first-party games on Game Pass day and date, so you'll get all 23 studio games there to play for a very affordable price. Easily. That includes Bethesda games as the generation goes on. That's going to be something that should be a massive deciding factor when you get a console, because it helps with the launch price, and it also helps knowing that your Xbox is going to be supported for a very long time. That's just something that's been happening for a little while now, as most gamers know. But for me, it's the other features talked about here, which is EA Play, that will give you so many new AAA games from EA onto Game Pass. Not to mention pretty much every single sports game they have. Are these day and date? No, but it adds value because of the amount of games they have on EA Play. So not only do you get amazing Xbox games right when you buy the new console, but you also get a massive library of games from EA, which the article points out here. EA Play means you'll get a bunch of EA games like Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Madden, Star Wars, and more as part of their existing Game Pass membership, and with Microsoft's recent acquisition of Bethesda, it's only a matter of time before a bunch of games from that studio show up as well. Meanwhile, xCloud game streaming lets you play a lot of these games, including a bunch of EA Play games, on your Android phone or tablet. Some games use an Xbox controller and some work with touch controls. And that's where xCloud comes into play, because not only can you play all of these games on your Xbox console, but you get added value when you invest in the Xbox ecosystem, because you can play them on any device you can download the Xbox app on. That to me is a massive value that people really can't match, especially the PlayStation 5. You throw in all the other advantages Xbox has and you can put them all together to see what the console's value at launch could really be, which the article says here. This, along with all access, means that for $25 to $35 a month, you can get a brand new console and have access to over 100 games, including all upcoming first-party games, for no extra cost. You could theoretically just not buy any games and still have a pretty impressive catalog for less than $40. Access and affordability are the name of the game here, and while I still think Sony's approach with exclusives is pretty compelling in its own right, Microsoft's approach certainly has its merits. And these are the advantages the Xbox Series X has over the PS5. Now, of course, there's others like the controller, which I feel is better on the Xbox side. But again, that's just personal opinion. And there's a few I could think of off the top of my head, but I haven't brought up because I want to get confirmation from Xbox first, which is the $70 price hike that PlayStation 5 is doing with their first-party games. This is something that Xbox hasn't said they would do, and it's something that Phil Spencer has said they might not even do, and we're actually a little surprised. But until I see this confirmed from a release from a first-party Xbox game, I'll hold that as a toss-up, even though it's looking like Xbox will have the advantage in that department regardless because of the value Xbox Game Pass has attached to it. So I could see that being an advantage as the next generation goes on. Now, to be fair, I will be making a PS5 video that shows the advantage that console has at launch and things that might be an advantage as the generation goes on. I can't wait to make it because honestly, both of these consoles are just exciting, and I want to see what they have, and I want to see what these launch consoles are going to give us in the next few months. But enough of what I think about all this. Tell me what you think about all this. Do you agree with all these advantages with the Xbox Series X? Does Xbox Game Pass give Xbox a huge advantage over the PS5? Will the hardware advantage show itself when developers have more time with the consoles? What advantage can Sony show for their launch? What advantages do you see both consoles having, respectively? Will you be buying both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X? Out of all the features, which one do you like the most? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there. So let's get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamer tag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. Right now, I'm still playing Watch Dogs Legion. That game is so much fun. And regrettably, I didn't get an Xbox Series X on launch day. So I'll be playing Watch Dogs on my Xbox One X for now. And I'll be saving Valhalla and a bunch of the other games for when I get my new console. Because I'm just excited to play on the new console because I want to play these games on 60 frames per second. I can't wait to see that. But let me know what you're playing. Go down below. Are you playing on your new console? Are you playing all these games at high fidelity with amazing performance at 60 FPS? Go down below. I'm sure you're jumping into all these new games like Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Call of Duty's just around the corner. I can't wait to jump into these because these games are going to be amazing on the new consoles. But so go down below and let me know. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching. And until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.